Hello everyone, my name is Nael. I'm a computational journalist and the creator of Code Like a Journalist, a free online open source course about data analysis and data visualization with TypeScript. Today's lesson is about variables. So I'm going to do the lesson with you step by step. On the lesson page, you have a reminder to subscribe to the newsletter or give a star to the GitHub repository, or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to know when new lessons will be added. If you need to get in touch, click on the contact page. So let's start. I'm going to split the screen to make things easier. Here we go. And I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. All right, here we go. So the first thing is to create a new project. So create a folder on your computer and then click on Open Folder. I have my little test folder here on my desktop. Here we go. And once you are in your folder, create two files. The first one is main.ts. So this is where we're going to code. And you can put console log 2 plus 3 in it. Console log 2 plus 3. Here we go. Don't forget to save. And a dino.json file. Dino.json file. We're going to keep this JSON file empty for now, but it just helps VS Code to know this is a Dino project. So use the Dino extension that we've installed in the previous lesson. And now you have your terminal. You can toggle it by using Command plus J or view terminal. And we're going to run this script. So dino run main.ts. Here we go. So console log means, hey computer, I want you to log something in the terminal. And right now we are doing a computation, 2 plus 3, which equals 5. So we have 5 being logged in our terminal. This is our basic setup. On the website, you have a highlight about the colors. So you might have noticed that you have a lot of colors in your code. This is a variable which holds a class, which is green. This is a method, which is yellow. And then you have other stuff with different colors. This is called syntax highlighting. When you'll have big files with a lot of information in it, the color will help you know what is this. Is this a variable? Is this a function? Is this a number? Is this a date? Things like that. You have different colors in the terminal as well when you log things. It's very useful. It helps you read code faster. Another thing that you might have noticed when you typed console log is that when you start typing stuff, you have pop-ups like this with a lot of information. This is VS Code trying to guess what you want to write. So if I start typing console, there is only one option left really right now. It's the console. And if I do a dot, I have the methods I want, and we will talk about methods later on. But if I start typing log, it will suggest, hey, you probably want to use the method log. And by the way, this is what log is doing. You have the documentation in the pop-up. Here, I want log, so I can press enter, and it will just help me write stuff faster. Between the parentheses, I need to pass what I want to log, and you see you have a description of what you are supposed to type in there. So I know that for now this can be a little bit overwhelming. Just ignore the pop-up for now, but we're going to use it later on. This is called, so you have the syntax highlighting, and you have IntelliSense, which is trying to guess what you want to write, and that is showing you documentation. IntelliSense, very useful. Okay, so Now, let's say that we would like to rerun this code. It's pretty annoying to always have to type it, Dino run main ts, right? We don't want to do that manually every time we are updating the code. This is why we're going to use watch and check. So instead of Dino run main, I'm going to clear the terminal with Command K. We can do Dino run, but watch as well and check as well main.ts. So when you do this, you're telling Dino, I want you to run the script to run main.ts, this file, but I also want you to watch it. If I update it, I want you to rerun it again. And I want you to check what's in it, just in case there's errors. Just let me know. So you can press enter, and now you can see that you have a watcher with a process started. It's logging 5 right now. We can change the 3 for 4 and save again. So when you have the white dot like this, it means that the file is not saved. You need to actually manually save it with Command S or Control S. So if I do Command S right now, I save. Oh, Dino noticed the change. File change detected on main.ts. Restarting everything. So now, instead of 5, we have 6. Dino saw the change and rerun the script, and we have a new result in the terminal. So this is very useful, and this is how we will work most of the time with watching our main file, so we don't have to manually rerun it every time. By the way, if you want to stop the watcher, you can do Control-C in the terminal, like this. If you want to clear the terminal, you can do Command K. And if you want to reuse your previous command, you can use the up arrow. Here we go. So let's watch it for the rest of the lesson. We can now talk about variables. Variables are like small boxes, and we can put stuff in it and reuse it. So we have an example over here, and let's write it. So we can do a variable a, const mean constant, with 2 in it. We have a variable b with 4 in it, and we have a variable c now that is the result of a plus b. And we want to log c. Here we go. I removed the pop-ups by pressing escape. So now if I save this, we have 6 again, except that now we are using variables. And C depends on A and B. So if I update just A and save, I'm actually updating A and C, right? And this is how you can code pretty complex algorithms with variables by abstracting them and reusing the values in your variables. So this is an example. By the way, when I wrote everything, I didn't put the semicolons at the end of the lines, because when you save, Dino checks your code and reformat it, right? That's one thing that we set up in the previous lesson. So when I hit save, Dino adds all of the semicolons for me automatically, which is very convenient, and I don't need to write them myself. The semicolons are an indication for Dino that all of these lines are different statements. So it will do the line 1, the first statement, line 4, etc. Actually, for Dino, you could write all of this just like that, and Dino will work with it perfectly fine. Like, it has no problem, because the semicolons are a way to say, hey, this line stops there, this line stops there. But for us, it's really difficult to read code like that. This is why we have a formatter, and when we save, it will automatically format the code for us, so it's easy to read and to understand. We are not computers. You can put anything you want as a variable name. The only rule is to not use special characters. And of course, there's an exception to this rule, which is underscore. So for example, I have here updated the code. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Here we go. For example, here, instead of A, I'm using banana. Instead of B, I'm using super apple with an underscore. And instead of C, we have potato all caps, which is banana plus super apple. And then we log potato and we have the same result as before, 6. So you can use anything you want for your variable names. However, it's important to choose good names that will help you debug and share your code as well with other people, and they will be able to understand it properly. So through the lessons, you'll see we'll be careful to have proper names. There's also something that is quite common in TypeScript. It's the camel case convention. So you see, for example, super apple here, we are using an underscore between the two words. Actually, what you might, it's what we do usually in TypeScript is to use camel case. So the first word is lowercase, and all of the next one are capitalized. So super apple. You will see things like this more often than using underscores. Yeah, that's just a convention. Underscore is more something that we use with another programming language called Python, also convention. And sometimes you'll see some constant written like this, but it's not that common. Yeah. Now, there's two kinds of variables. So here we wrote, I'm just going to copy this. So here we wrote constant variables. When you use const, you tell Dino, hey, whatever is in that box is not supposed to change. If I'm trying to override it, throw an error. Tell me I'm wrong. And this is exactly what's happening right now. You see the file is now red. We have one error, and I saved. So when trying to run it, Dino crashed. Well, not crashed, but it's telling me that there's an error in it. You see this red line here? It's telling me the error is right there. And the problem is that you created a constant variable C, and you are trying to override it, which is not allowed. When you put your cursor on it, you have the information. Cannot assign to C because it's a constant. So constants are very useful because, yeah, if you want something that stays constant, doesn't change, and you try maybe by mistake to override it, you'll get an error. I saved, so automatically I have the error in here as well. It's the same error that is being shown. Yeah. When Dino throws an error at you, you can see the red underline on where the error is. If you run the code, you'll have an error as well, and Dino will tell you exactly where the error is. So you see here it's in main.ts. 6 means line 6, and the 1 here means first character. So you know exactly where it is. And if you go over the path, the file path, and you do command, maybe it's another key on PC, command, and you click on this here, it will bring you directly to the error. This is very useful, especially when you have a lot of files. You can just do command click, and it brings you directly where the problem is, and you can try to fix it. Okay, So let's fix this error. So right now it's not working because C is supposed to be a constant, the result of A plus B. But here we're saying, hey, now I want C to be 10, and that's not allowed. We can use the second way of creating a variable, which is with let. When you use let like this, you're saying, hey, I'm creating a variable, but it's okay. You can overwrite its content. Don't worry about it, Dino. And now the red line disappeared. We don't have an error. And if we save, you can see that we have A plus B equals C. When we log C, we see 7 in the terminal. Then we have C equals 10. And when we log C now, we have 10 in the terminal. It works. No more errors. Another thing that we can do, let me copy and paste now, is that we can use C to overwrite itself. So we can say, hey, you are A plus B, 7. Then you are 10, I'm overwriting you. And now I'm overwriting you by yourself. You are yourself multiplied by yourself. And I want you to be overridden with the result of this. So 10 multiplied by 10, 100. And that's what you're seeing there. 7, 10, 100. Of course, your code is being executed line by line, well, statement by statement, from top to bottom. This is why you're seeing 7, 10, 100 over here. Right? If C was const, we would get 2 errors. We cannot override by 10, and we cannot override C by itself. So we use C. Let's talk about typed variables. So we are using TypeScript, and the reason why we have type in script, it's because the variables are typed. The type of the data that you put in a variable is important. So for example, if we go over C right now, you can see that VS Code and Dino are telling us, hey, C right now is of type number. It's a number. And that's true. A is a number, B is a number, so the result of the sum of two numbers is a number, right? We say that this type is inferred because it's a informed guess by TypeScript. There's no other possibilities. We don't need to explicitly say C is a number. Dino and, well, TypeScript is clever enough to figure it out. Now, if we decide to overwrite C, which is a number, with something else, we'll get an error. So let's change this by, hey, what's up? You can see that now we have an error. It's red again. And if we hover over C, it's because type string is not you cannot put a string inside something that is supposed to be a number. String means text. It's a string of character, so text. And yeah, it doesn't work. Even if this here can be overridden, you cannot override it with anything you want. It needs to be of the same type, which is very important, because if you think that you have a number in there and suddenly you are overriding it with text, it can create new bugs down below. So you cannot do that. By the way, I changed that for text, but I didn't save the file. And still, we already have the error. You have the errors popping up as you write, which is very convenient, because you don't need to run your code every time to see errors. You can fix them before running your code. If you have very complex computations that can take like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour to run, you don't want to run your code every time to check if there's an error or not. This is one great value of using TypeScript. So Yeah. So now if we save the file, so we have the white dot here, we can save, and you'll see that indeed we're having the same error. Type string is not assignable to type number. We have an error over here. It needs to be the same type. If we say 100, it will work, no problem, because 100 is a number. So this is a very convenient feature. And that's it for the lesson. You might think that variables are complicated. We can do constant variables. We can do let variables. There are also data types. It gets a few iterations to be comfortable with it, but it's actually very powerful. The constant and the types will help you avoid stupid mistakes and bugs in your analysis and in your visualizations. So they are very, very important and very useful. Yeah, one last thing that I wanted to show you at the end of this lesson. So if you want to create comments in your code, maybe for yourself or for another person that is working with you, in JavaScript, we do that with the slash. So a double slash at the beginning of a line will create a comment and will be ignored. This is ignored by Dino. So you see I can add this comment and the result is still the same, no problem. Dino knows that this is probably for a human, not for him. So that's how you can do comments. You can also do multi-line comments by doing slash star and then star slash. So this here is a multi-line comment. All of this block of code is being commented and will be ignored as well. Of course, right now it's creating an error because C does not exist, is not being created before being overridden. And I think that's it for the lesson. If you want to know when new lessons are available, subscribe to the newsletter, add a star to the GitHub repository, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. The next lesson will be about data types.